Scholars. Thank you for joining us today at HISD at Home TV programming. My name is Michelle Davis and I'm a Teacher Development Specialist supporting math and science teachers this school year. Today I have a very special assistant,
Olivia Davis.
and she's here to join me today in presenting a science lesson. This lesson is intended for kinder through second grade students. So the first part, or the first step of our lesson, is to prepare our materials. So the materials that you'll need today are, if you have your science notebook, that would be great. If not, you could use a sheet of paper, a pencil, and then I want you to grab two objects. It could be from your toy box, it could be from the kitchen, objects that move, but please get permission to get those objects from your parents. Welcome back. Was everyone able to gather their materials for the lesson? Remember, you need your science notebook or a sheet of paper, a pencil, and then two objects that move. So, let's go ahead and get started with our first part. We can put the objects that we found from our toy box to the side for the first part of our lesson. The next thing we need to do is set up our science notebook or our piece of paper. So, this is what your science notebook is going to look like for today's lesson. So, if your scholar needs some support, that's okay, and you could help them set up their notebook. I'm going to give you some time to set up your notebook for our investigation today. Welcome back. I hope you were able to set up your science notebook for our investigation and our lesson today. Today we're going to begin with a thinking question. And Olivia, can you help us by reading that think about it question?
What are some ways objects can move?
Alright, so I want you to take some time and think about that question. What are some ways that objects can move? If you have someone in your home right now, go ahead and share your response with someone at home. So Olivia, what are some ways that you've seen objects move?
A fidget spinner. A fidget spinner has these metals inside that helps it move.
Okay, great observation. All right, so we're going to go to our content and our language objective for today. So I'm going to use my fancy pointer here. So today's content objective in science is we're going to demonstrate or show and describe how objects move and record observations. For language today, we're going to write using sentence frames and selected vocabulary about the movement of objects that we observe today. Olivia, can you bring out our basket of items for today? Alright, so the first object that we're going to explore with today is a ball. So this is just a regular tennis ball. And so Olivia, can you hold this for us, please? I'm going to write on our anchor chart for object number 1, I'm going to write the word ball because that's the name of our object. So go ahead and do that in your journal as well. You're going to write object number 1, ball. Olivia, can you demonstrate or show how a ball could move?
It can move straight,
Okay.
and it can bounce.
So when it's bouncing, how would you describe that it's bouncing? Is it going side to side, or do you think it's moving up and down?
Up and down.
Okay, so a ball can move in a straight line, right?
Yeah.
So we're going to write over here straight line. You said the ball can also what?
Go up and down.
Okay, so it's bouncing, so it's going up and then it's going down, right? So it can move up and down. Are there any other ways that you can make the ball move?
I can make it spin.
All right, so when you're spinning the ball, what does the movement look like?
A circle.
Okay, it looks like it's going around and around in a circle, correct? All right, so it spins and it goes around and around. Great job exploring with that item today, or this object today, okay? So that is object number 1. So I'm going to give you some time to draw the movements, and I want you to write what the movements are. Straight line, up and down, around and around. All right, our second item today, Olivia, it's just a regular canned good from our pantry or in our kitchen, right? So, exploring with the can, how could you make a can move?
I can make a can move in a straight line.
Okay, let me write that one down. So let's write our object down. Object number 2 is a canned good from, it could be anything. Corn. This one is pasta, but that's fine. And so you said that you can, when you explored, you said that it moves in a straight line. So I'm going to write over here straight line. Is there another way that this canned good could move?
It can spin a little bit.
Okay, so when you spin it, it's moving around and around, correct? Okay, so spinning is around and around. Is there another way that you could make that object move? It's your choice. What is there another way that you can make it move? Does it bounce like a ball?
No.
No. So, is there another, can you think of another creative way to make it move? Let's see, let me try with it. Can I make it move back and forth?
Yes.
So it goes forward and backwards, right?
Mhm.
So that's a back and forth motion, right?
Mhm.
So I'm going to add that one. So when something goes one way and then it turns around. So that's going to be back and forth. All right, thank you for exploring with me with the canned good, okay? So our third object is going to be, oh, this is going to be fun. So this is a toy car. So let me write that on our chart. So object number 3 is a toy car. Can you demonstrate or show how the toy car can move?
I can move straight.
Okay, so let me write down that observation. My first drawing is straight. And so this is, I'm going to write it out, straight line. Okay, what's another way that this car can move?
Back and forth.
Okay, we can make the car go back and forth. So I'm going to draw some lines to show that it's moving back and forth. What is another way that the car can move?
It can spin.
Okay, so we can spin it. So we can make it go round and round. So around and around. All right, can you think of any other ways to make the car move?
Well, it can't bounce. So, that's all I can really think of.
Okay. Thank you for exploring with the car. Alright, so then we have something else that I found in our pantry. Just a simple box. So we have a box here. So, how could you make the box move?
It could go straight.
Okay, so let me write that down. Okay, so then we have a box. So you said the box can move straight, in a straight line. Okay, so how else could this box move?
Back and forth.
Okay, you can move the box back and forth. So we're going to draw those lines. Back. And forth. Let's see, any other ways that you can make the box move?
I can spin it.
Okay, so we could spin it, and what do we call it when we say it's spinning? It's going,
Around and around.
thank you, it's going around and around when we spin it. Any other ways that you can think of that you could explore with the box?
Nothing else I could think of besides straight line, back and forth, and spin.
Okay, so can we make the box bounce like the ball?
No.
No, okay. Alright, thank you for sharing that. Alright, so what I want you to do is, we have 2 extra items, correct, Olivia?
Yeah.
Alright, so Olivia found 2 items. So remember when I told you to select 2 items at your home? Right now I'm going to give you some time to explore with your items. So Olivia chose a yo-yo, and what else did you choose?
A fidget spinner.
Okay, so you chose 2 other items, and so those items, right now I want you to demonstrate at home, and I want you to describe and add that to your data chart. So I'm going to give you some time right now to explore how your objects move, and I want you to add that to your anchor chart, or your data chart in your notebook. I hope you enjoyed exploring with your objects at home. So Olivia and I explored with a yo-yo and a fidget spinner, and we recorded our observations on our data table. So Olivia, you're having so much fun. So what did you notice about your yo-yo when you moved it?
My yo-yo can go up and down in a circle and back and forth.
Okay, so what about the fidget spinner? What did you notice or observe about the fidget
It
spinner?
can spin and go in a straight line and back and forth.
Okay. All right, so great exploring. All right, so now we're going to put our objects back in the basket, and we're going to move on to what's called classifying objects. So I'm going to bring this paper over here to our table. Olivia, can you help me place that on the table while I grab this?
Yeah.
We have some ways to describe how objects move. And so when we explored today, we saw some of those ways already when we were exploring our objects. So Olivia, some ways that we can describe how objects move are the direction that they move in, but we could also describe the speed, right? Mm-hmm. So we could describe how fast or how slow something moves. We also can describe if it moves, like you said. What did you discover?
A can move straight, and a car can go back and forth, and a yo-yo could go up and down, and a fidget spinner can spin around and around.
That's right, around and around. So this is going to be a new one, the zigzag motion, okay? So we're going to look and see and classify some of our objects and see if they could also go in a zigzag motion today. All right, so let's begin with the tennis ball that we tested out earlier. All right, so thinking about a tennis ball, could we move a tennis ball if we push it Can we move it in a zigzag pattern?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to put the tennis ball here, the picture of a tennis ball here. 1 second. We still need the tennis ball. Can the tennis ball also move up and down when it bounces?
Yes.
Okay, so we're going to put the tennis ball here because it also can move up and down. Can we spin a tennis ball and make it go round and round?
Yes.
Okay, so we're going to place a tennis ball here. Can we make a tennis ball roll in a straight line?
Yes.
So we're going to put the picture here. What about the ball? If we push it and then pull it back, can we make it move back and forth?
Yes.
All right. So notice that I wanted to ask you a question. Can a tennis ball move in more than one way?
No.
So looking at the tennis ball, how many different ways did it move?
5 ways.
5 different ways, right?
Yeah.
So what is the answer to that question? Can
Yes.
a tennis ball move in different ways?
Yes.
Yes, that's correct. So let's move here to speed. Can a tennis ball move really slowly?
Yes.
Can a tennis ball move really quickly?
Yes.
All right. So we're also going to add our pictures here that describe speed, the movement of speed. Okay. So our tennis ball also fit in those categories as well.
Now time for the fidget spinner.
All right. So I'm going to pass you the ball, and you can pass me the fidget spinner. All right. So obviously, a fidget spinner moves what?
It spins. It could spin
It spins. So what describes spinning?
up. Around and around.
Yes, around and around. So we're going to place that picture here. Can I move the fidget spinner in a straight line?
Yes.
Okay, so we're going to place that picture here as well for straight line. Can I bounce it and make it go up and down?
No.
No. What about pushing it and pulling it? Can I make it go back and forth?
Yes.
Okay, so I noticed you put the fidget spinner here. Did it
Oh.
bounce up and down?
No, sir.
Okay, so we're not going to put the picture there. What about if I move the fidget spinner in a zigzag pattern?
Yes.
Okay, so we could put that as a zigzag pattern as well. All right, can I move the fidget spinner really slowly?
Yes.
Okay, so we could put it there to describe that a fidget spinner moves really slowly. What about if I move the fidget spinner like this? Then we could classify it under the fidget spinner moves fast, right? Okay, so did the fidget spinner move only in one way or in many different ways?
Many different ways.
All right, thank you, Olivia. All right, the next item could be the canned good. All right, so here are pictures of the canned good. All right, so
It can move back and forth.
is this, okay, this is back and forth.
It can move in a straight line.
Okay, in a straight line. What else?
It could spin.
It could spin, so that means it's going around and around.
It could go zigzags.
Can I make it go in a zigzag? Let's see. If I turn it this way, and then I change the direction this way, and then that way, is that a zigzag pattern?
Yes.
Yes, so we're also going to put the tin can there. Can I move the can really slowly?
Yeah.
Can I move the can really fast
Oh,
or
God.
quickly?
Yes.
All right, so we're also going to place it there.
But it can't move up and down.
But we can't bounce this can
Yeah.
up and down, right? All right, thank you. Next is the toy car. All right, so what did we notice about the toy car?
The toy car can move in a straight line.
Okay, so we're going to place that here.
It can move back and forth.
If we go
It
this
can't.
way.
It can't go up
Slow
and
down.
down.
We can't bounce it and make it go up and down.
Yeah,
No.
no.
But you know, there are some cars that are made to do that,
yeah.
right? In the real world. Okay,
Yeah.
go ahead.
It can spin.
It can spin, so it goes around and around.
It can go zigzag.
We can make this car go in a zigzag motion in or pattern, yes. Can I make the car go fast?
Yes.
Can I make the car move really slowly?
Yes.
All right, so we're going to put those objects there. All right, here's the toy car. All right, let's bring out the yo-yo next.
Yo-yo.
So this is an object that you got to explore. Let's see. So for the first part, what is an object? What does a yo-yo do?
It could go up and down. That's really obvious.
Okay.
You can make it go in a zigzag.
We could make it go in a zigzag motion. We'd have to be really, really skilled at being a yo-yo, right?
Yeah.
We could make it go in a zigzag pattern. What else?
It could go back and forth.
Okay.
It could go in a straight line. And we can make it spin.
We can make it spin around and around.
Yes.
That's really fun. What about, can we make it move really slow or fast?
Yes.
Okay. So let me ask you a question, Olivia. So I want you to think about this at home as well. How does force affect how slow or how fast the yo-yo will go up and down? What do you think we have to do with force to make it go fast?
Force, you have to
Are we pushing it or pulling it?
pushing it and then pulling it back up.
Okay. So the force of our hands is pushing it down, but then the force of our hands is also what?
Pulling it up.
Pulling it up. So, do you think it's going to go faster if I push it really hard, or do you think it's going to go slower?
Faster.
If I push it really hard and pull it really hard, then it's going to go what?
Fast.
But if I push it very slowly and pull very slowly, then it moves what?
Slow.
Slow. So, does force affect how fast or slow something moves?
Yes.
Yes, it does. Okay. All right. Thank you for sharing that. All right. So the next thing we're going to move to is our box. All right. So when we explored with our box earlier, all right. So let's go ahead and see. Could we move our box in a straight line?
Yes.
Could we spin our box around and around?
Yes.
Could we move this box in a zigzag motion?
Yes.
Could we make our box bounce up and down
Yes.
like a ball or a yo-yo?
Kind of, but not really.
Not really, right?
Yeah.
What about back and forth? Can I make the box move forward and then back? So back
Yeah.
and forth?
Yes.
Okay. Can I make the box move slowly
Yes.
or fast? Okay,
Yes.
so we're going to put our pictures there as well. Did you know that movement is also a physical property? When we describe these objects, we're also describing a physical property. So have you heard of that word physical property before?
Kind of.
What do you know about physical property?
Physical property,
So remember, we could talk about things like color, shape, how it feels. So we use our five senses to describe an object, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so could we describe are we describing how these objects move?
Yes.
So that's also a physical property. So if I'm looking at this box, the colors are blue and yellow. It's smooth. So another physical property is that we describe that it can move in a zigzag motion. It can move back and forth. That's a physical property. It moves in a straight line. That's a physical property because we're describing characteristics about this box.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? All right. Thank you for sharing. Okay, Olivia, so looking at this chart, the way that we have it, what objects do you notice that move the same way?
I see the same way, spinning around and around.
So which objects spin around and around?
The car, the yo-yo, the can, and the fidget spinner, and the ball, and the box.
Okay, so all of these objects moved the same way around and around. And so looking at this organizer, which was the least common movement?
Up and down.
So what objects moved up and down?
The ball and the yo-yo.
Okay, so these were the least common. And so a lot of them have similar, like fast, slow, straight line, back and forth. Those are going to be our most common movements that we see, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so now we're going to move to our anchor chart. Chart and our interactive notebook. So this is the part we're going to fill out together. All right, so I'm going to put the notebook down and Olivia's going to help me out with this anchor chart. So the title is Ways Object Moves, and we have understand it. So motion is a vocabulary word, and motion is, think about what we were doing today. Motion is
Movement.
Motion is movement. And the way we were able to move things is with a
Force.
Okay, so force is needed to move a lot of objects. Some objects move, and we need a force to move them. So a force can be a
Push. Or a pull.
All right, so we're going to review some of these vocabulary words. A force can be a push or a pull, right? So a push, let's do that. Look, that's going away from you, right? And a pull is moving towards you. So we're going to add those to our chart. You don't have to write these, but these picture cards are vocabulary cards that have the definition and a picture of push and pull. So here's a vocabulary card for push. Can you move over, Olivia? It's to move away, an object away from you. And then we also have the vocabulary card for pull. You do not have to write these. I just wanted to provide the pictures when something is moving away from you. So what we're going to use is a thinking map, and this circle map is what we're going to use. We're going to write movement in the middle. And I want you to think about all the different types of movement that we explore today with our objects. So you could draw a picture, like we did. We drew the movement in our notebooks earlier. Or you could also write the movement if you're able to write the words that describe the movement. So I want you to put these things around. For example, straight line was a common one. So I'm going to put that in my circle map. Straight line. So I'm going to give you some time to fill that out in your interactive notebook, and then we're going to come back together. All right, thank you, Olivia, for sharing some of your thinking on our thinking map. So let's see if you had some of the same ideas that we shared on our thinking map. So we continued with zigzag, back and forth, around and around, up and down. And then Olivia helped with the drawings of something that is slow would be like a turtle, something that is fast would be like a rabbit. So all of these words describe movement in our lesson today. So, great job. So this is the last part of our lesson today. We want to apply what we've learned. And we initially started off with this question at the beginning. We said, what are some ways objects can move? So that was our question in the beginning to think about it. But now we're going to write. We're going to use the sentence frames to help us write. So, Olivia, can you pass me the sentence strips that are on the side, please? So this is just an example, but I want you to create and write your own sentences to, bless you, your own sentences to answer this question. So earlier today, we experienced the toy car. So a car moves, and we describe how it moves fast. So we have a complete sentence. Let's read the complete sentence. A car moves fast. Okay, and we have a period at the end. And then we could use the second sentence to also answer the question. The blank moves blank. So today we had some time to explore with a fidget spinner. So we're going to use that example. The fidget spinner moves. So it moved in a variety of ways. But we're going to describe one way that it moved today. The fidget spinner moves round and round, or around and around. So this is how we answer our questions. Right now I want you to take some time. This is my example, but I want you to create your own example of your answers to this question. What are some ways objects can move? So now you are going to answer this in your notebook. Now that you've had the opportunity to complete your sentences for our lesson, we're going to go ahead and wrap up our lesson for today on ways objects move. Again, my name is Michelle Davis.
And my name's Olivia.
Thank you for joining us today, and we hope you continue to explore ways objects move.